Okay, good morning here, guys. Gonna go through your notes for the day. Video should only take probably 7 or 8 minutes at the most. So there's two ways to do your notes here going forward. You can always print this off. It's uploaded to our Google Classroom. Or you can copy everything down in a notebook. But either way, you need to be showing me that you're doing this. So from time to time, we're gonna have you upload your notes and along with your work to the Google Classroom. And that's something I do want you to do here for this first day. So you're actually going to take a picture of two things, or maybe you just zoom out a little bit and get a picture of both in one picture and submit it into the Google Classroom, in addition to submitting your answers to the worksheet in GoFormative. So a couple definitions to start. We're working on solving linear equations. So if you are putting this into your notebook, you need to write down the following learning targets. Okay, what our goals are for today. I should see in your notes, or if you're doing what I'm doing and you have this printed at home, you want to highlight, this is what we're doing today. I can solve linear equations, and I can write and solve linear equations with one variable. Okay? So as it says right here, the essential understanding is that we need to use our properties of equality and our inverse operations and to get the variable alone. That's what the word isolate means. We want to get it on its own. So a couple definitions real quick. Whenever you need to, sometimes I write really quick. Whenever you need to, you can pause this and get things done. So yeah, so a variable is just simply a letter that represents a number. So sorry, I'm left-handed, so I cover that up as I go, but just something you have to deal with. So again, pause it if you need to. And then we also have an equation. We need to know that an equation always has an equal sign. So, if, for example, if we had x plus 5 equals 10, that's an equation. Right? But if I take the 10 off and I have just x plus 5, that is an expression. Two different things. Okay? And last, the solution to an equation, so your last vocab word of the day, is the value of a variable that makes the equation true. Okay? So, a little hint when we're going to solving these. You guys probably remember from elementary school and middle school, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, our order of operations. Now, when we go to solve our equations, we're actually going to work backwards. So now, the abbreviation is DCMAM. The little phrase I use to remember this is, don't call me after midnight. Okay, so these stand for distribute. So whenever possible, we'll distribute first. Okay, we're not going to be doing a lot of that today in this first lesson, or possibly at all. And then we're going to combine our like terms. you're going to see me refer that to as CLT, combined like terms. And then we're going to move all of our variables to one side, if that's not already done. Some of these things are already done today. And then last two things, we add and subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, so we'll be saying that a lot lately, or a lot as we go forward, sorry. Okay, so our first example, just this equation here, we have simply 2x plus 9 equals 23. So again, whenever you need to, pause the video, write things down, rewind, rewatch, whatever you need to do. First things first, I'm going to build a fence, or whatever you want to call it. We'll draw a line down the middle. And that reminds us that whatever we do to one side, we do to the other, okay? That goes back up to our properties of equality. So in this equation here that we're trying to solve for x, we are going to not have anything to distribute, not have any like terms, okay? We're not going to have any variables to move because my x is already just on one side. So now we subtract. And I know that a lot of you guys, based on our assignments from last week on IXL, you have a pretty good idea on what's going on here. Okay, so still show me the work. You're going to subtract 9 from both sides. Sometimes people put a line here. That's up to you. But when I simplify, 23 minus 9, okay, do that in your head, or get a calculator, whatever you need to do. Okay, and you're going to get 2x equals 14. Then I divide by 2, because that's my last step down here. Multiply or divide, I always do the opposite. So I was adding up here, so I subtracted here. 2 times x, so I'm dividing here. X equals 7. Okay, over here it says the justification for each step. Well, our justification, we can go through and we can just check our work. This is something you would always want to do on a test or quiz. So I would plug this back in. 2 times 7 plus 9. Does that, question mark, equal 23? Okay. Does it equal 23? So now we just simplify. Okay, and now we go forward and do our order of operations normally. So our 2 times 7 is 14 plus 9. And if you do this correctly, 23 should equal 23. As long as 23 equals 23, you are good, okay? So now here's what we're gonna do real quick. I'm gonna do this one right here, and then I want you to try 1, 3, and 4. So same thing here. We're going to add 3 to both sides. Draw your line if that helps. Right? And remember, if I do it to one side, I do it to the other. Right? So negative 3 plus 3 equals 0. They cancel. Again, if you have to draw a line there, that helps you. Do it. 5 plus 3. D divided by 4 equals 8. And now this is a division problem. So the opposite of division is multiplication. Okay, and our D equals 32. So right now, this is where I would want you, if you're at home here working, I want you to pause the video. I want you to try these 3 on your own real quick. Okay, and then I'm quickly going to go through them. So pause this, try numbers 1, 3, and 4, and then that will be it for your notes for the day. So pause it, try them. And here we go. So you should be unpausing your video now and have all 3 of these problems done. So we're going to quickly go through them. Again, draw my line, add to both sides because I'm subtracting here. 3x equals 27, divided by 3, x equals 9. Okay, and down here, different order. We have our t, our variable, on the other side. Still, we don't have anything to distribute, combine, move. So we go right to our add and subtract. This is a positive 4, so we are going to subtract that. Right? And that leaves me with 15 equals negative 6t. Okay, if you had your phone, phones are a little tricky using negatives, or you can just know that, hey, whenever I divide by a negative and I have a positive and a negative, my answer's going to be also negative. So I get an answer of negative 2.5. Okay, and that's weird. And all of a sudden now we have a decimal. So that might be one that if you were doing this on your homework, you'd probably want to check that one. Is that right? Okay. So I could go up here and recheck it if I wanted. And as long as my negative 6 times negative 2.5, that does equal positive 15, plus my 4, 19, it appears to check. And my last one for the day. Again, my variable's on the opposite side. It does not matter. Add my 8. Add my 8. Negative 3 equals 1.5y divided by 1.5 divided by 1.5, and y equals negative 2. So make sure that seems like that works. Negative 2 times 1.5 is negative 3 plus your negative 8 is negative 11. So those are your notes for Tuesday. Right, and now you're going to go try the worksheet. There's 15 questions on there. Show your work, send me a picture of that, and then also try that Go Formative and upload it, and that will tell you how you're doing on your work. All right, that's all.